Good morning, Sunday. I pulled out actually 5 Bibles I have here referring John 14, verse 12. John is all good to read because there's lots of scripture that separate Jesus from the Father. It says, my Father and me, things like that. So King James Version, Revised Standard Version, Phillips Modern English, New English Bible, and the Gideon's International Bible. I really like the New English Bible, but they're all good. So in truth, in very truth, I will tell you, he who has faith in me will do what I am doing, and he will do greater things still because I'm going to the Father. I love that one. He mentions the word truth. He's not fooling around. In truth, you can do greater things than him. The Phillips Bible, I assure you that the man who believes in me will do the same things that I have done. And this is good because this is past tense. You will be able to do the same things that I have done. Yes, and he will do even greater things than these. I assure you that the man who believes in me will do the same things that I have done, and even greater than. So who's this man Jesus? Who's he talking to when he says these things? Here's another one. Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also, and greater works than these he will do, because I'm going to my Father. If you believe that Jesus is God, here's a scripture that is telling you that you can do greater works than God. I don't know what is greater than God. Do you believe that you are God's and can do greater than God? It's hard not to sound sarcastic, and I'll apologize, but let me reiterate. God created the earth in 6 days. And here's scripture that tells you that you can do things greater than him. Maybe you can do it in 5 days. If you don't take lunches, maybe 4 days. I don't believe Jesus is God. Read this whole scripture. There's scripture all through here that separates Jesus from God. And God wouldn't tell you that you can do greater than him. What is greater than God? Do you believe you can create galaxies and the sun and the heavens and the earth? Do you believe you can? If I had that kind of power, my mother would still be alive today. I would be God. No, I don't believe Jesus is God, and there's many, many scripture that say otherwise. You don't have to believe that. This is just my belief. My belief doesn't condemn you to hell if you don't believe like me. I'm 50 years old, and 51. Religion has been, since I could read, they've been telling me they have the truth. Over and over and over, they have the truth, and if I don't believe exactly like them, I'm going to burn in hell forever. I'm damned. And my family's damned, and my 1-year-old daughter's damned, and the Hindus and the Buddhists and the... and why do I not believe Jesus is God? Well, this one scripture alone, but there's many scripture. It's one scripture alone. I don't believe you're God. I don't believe you can do greater things than God. I don't believe this scripture. This scripture only makes sense when Jesus is a man. Remember Jesus, the guy that was born in Bethlehem, in a stable, separate identity from God? Jesus was a man. He was a wonderful teacher. He had beautiful lessons of love and forgiveness, and that's what he taught, that's what he preached, and then this scripture makes perfect sense. Now, this man, this teacher, as you're a student to this teacher, is assuring you that I'm going to teach you this lesson, but I want you to fulfill your education and go farther. Keep going, and keep learning, and keep growing, do greater things than I do. Now it makes sense. Why did we ever make Jesus a God in the first place? That's something I'd have to study. Why do we make God, Jesus a God? Is it so we don't have to become responsible, mature Christians? So we think that we can't obtain his power and glory, so we create a God, and I'm not sure the reason. This is a very wonderful scripture. Jesus, the man, is letting you know that everything that he does, you can do, and greater than. That's fantastic. No, I don't believe he's God, and I don't believe you're gods. I don't believe you're gods. I don't believe that you're greater than God. You believe that, if you want to. You believe that Jesus is God, and then right here in the scripture, God's given you all the powers to create galaxies and universes. But I assure you, that's not my faith, not my, Now, I'm not trying to change people's opinions. There's a quote about not arguing with people who I have little faith in fundamentals being honest with themselves. There is scripture after scripture that they have issues with, that they can't. I feel they manipulate. They do whatever they can, and this is just my opinion, my beliefs, and I call it a now testament. Did you know that people leave in churches in flocks? That we're pushing 30% atheists in America now, and 50 years ago it was about 9%. The new generation who starts reading these Bibles, they don't take it. They're not out to condemn homosexuals to death. They're not out. They don't believe the earth is 10,000 years old or 8,000 years. There's information out there, so they're starting to believe in other things. I'm not saying they've given up on the Bible. There's a lot of wonderful, beautiful things in here. They're just becoming more aware. Behold, I will bring forth something new. Will you be aware? So why are they dropping out of the church in droves? Well, maybe they don't believe that they can build galaxies and universes. I don't know.